Good morning, everyone. Welcome to St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador.
This year, the theme of the Atlantic Regional Council is You Are the Union. There's a really great group of workers here, a great group of members. Everybody has great energy, and we think it's important that everybody knows that there's a place for them in this big old union.
Well, when I think of You Are the Union, and I go back to when we became Unifor, and that's what I always took the U to be, is you. And I think that was important, and I think that message is that we bring that back to our workplace and share that message with our members, that you are the union, you are the ones that make these decisions, and that we're always together, but you are part of the togetherness for making change.
The union is you, you are the union. We say this a lot, but the fact that, Jen organized a whole council around this to make people feel the way they need to feel about their union. This is your place, this is your space, this is your union. It works because we all come together in the many ways that we need to come together to fight for workers, to build better communities, to build better workplaces, build a better world. It's up to all of us. And encouraging participation in that union is incredibly important. And I think what happens here in the Atlantic is Jen is inspiring people to get involved in the union. This is what we need. Look at the young people that were at this Atlantic Council. Look at the number of new people that came for their first time. When you see that kind of renewal in the union and that kind of interest and love in the union, how you get people involved, how you show that there's space and place for everybody. And yeah, you want to do activism, this is the place to do it.
We had a May Day rally, and our May Day rally was tremendously successful. People just coming out and talking about what is happening in our world right now, what is happening in Canada. And we know that we have a lot of work to do, but we are not going to ever stop fighting.
The May Day rally was amazing, actually. We had a large group of local Unifor members, as well as Unifor members attending the ARC, come together so that we could march in solidarity with other unions, the Newfoundland Labrador Federation of Labor, MUN Student Union, and things like that. And we basically are marching together in unity to support all workers in this town. We were just united to spread our word and voice as an equal unit and people together.
We are staring down some big challenges here in Atlantic Canada right now. There's a reality television star in the White House who is playing games with the global economy. President Trump's tariffs have created uncertainty everywhere, and our industries are a target. He wants to make our fish harvesters tie up and our forestry workers give up. We are here on May Day to protect Canadian jobs, and we can do this. Thank you to all of you who showed up today and every day. Today to celebrate May Day and stand with us again, ready to fight. Togetherness is our superpower, my friends. Solidarity is our strength. So, solidarity. So, solidarity. So, solidarity. Happy May Day!
As trade unionists, at our very core, we're about raising the standards of working people, and workers are always stronger when we work together. Many of the programs and initiatives that we are proud of at Unifor, and the ones that are ingrained in our DNA, are being shared on a global stage and are setting the bar for workers across the globe.
There is incredible work that's happening in this region. The Atlantic region, we always say, yes, we're small, but we sure are mighty. This year we did our very first Atlantic Region EFAP conference, and it was a huge success. Tim from Fog Off Clothing, who we collaborated with on our hoodies, and the back of the hoodie says, no one should walk down a foggy path alone. And we talk about mental health often around, depression and anxiety and sort of the things that you think about when you think about mental health. But what Tim presented to us was solutions. What are we going to do to actually end the stigma around mental health?
So it's imperative that people understand that this is not just something that happens outside of work. It happens in the workplace. You bring it to the workplace, and that's why it is, to me, it's absolutely a workplace issue, and it's also a health and safety issue.
We will continue to demand action to address the housing crisis. We will continue to fight for improvements to public health care. We will continue to fight for anti-scab legislation provincially to match what we want federally. We will continue to get the supports we need to address intimate partner violence. We have the power to push politicians to act, but to do that, we have to be loud. We have to work together, we must be united, and we have to be persistent. We can do again what we did for intimate partner violence recognition. Passing intimate partner violence legislation didn't happen overnight.
As all of you know, we had intimate partner violence declared an epidemic in Nova Scotia. But our fight's still not over there. So Jen and myself have been meeting with some of the women's shelters in Nova Scotia to discuss next steps. And one of the major things that's going on there in the women's shelters is their funding. They have to worry about losing their funding.
Intimate partner violence is something that we all know somebody that's been affected. Women's shelters are not funded. How is that fair? How is that right? How is that just? So we need to create that equality for women so that they're not feeling ashamed and not worried about it. And it's really heartwarming to hear and see men standing up today at the ARC.
You are specially trained and even recognized by the United Nations for the support you offer your members. How fabulous is that? What a coup. Be proud.
So, now it's about what are our next steps? It's not as simple as saying, okay, it's declared an epidemic and it's going to stop now. And why is there funding for other public services but not for safe spaces for women who are experiencing domestic violence? So maybe that's where we start.
The action we've seen from Unifor and our president, Lana Payne, and just how important her voice has been and her hard work in dealing with the threats south of the border, I think gives us a lot of optimism, gives us a lot of hope. And we all also know that workers have faith in their union and that workers are not going to stand down and roll over to the United States government.
I've been in the union a long time, and I've been through many, many crises. It started in the early 90s when the fishery was closed in Newfoundland and Labrador. It was a massive upheaval, 20,000 people out of work overnight. We weren't sure communities were going to survive. Some of them didn't survive. A lot of workplaces didn't survive. And the one thing that kept people going through that crisis to know that there was hope was the union. And that was true of every crisis that I've been through in my working life.
Right now, more than ever, we've got to unite with what the President of the United States has presented with this trade war. The Atlantic has many sectors that are trade dependent. Right here in Newfoundland and Labrador, we've got energy, we've got forestry workers, we've got fishery workers. And I think after being here and hearing what the union is doing and hearing from Lana Payne and her message, I think now more than ever, our members are understanding exactly what our power is. And we know that we have a lot of work to do, but we are not going to ever stop fighting.